guys, in today's video I'm gonna talk about 7 common mistakes calligraphy beginners tend to make. I'm Neha from Artpreneur. I share tips and tricks about easy to create art every week. My current series focuses on modern calligraphy. With this video I'm hoping that I'm able to help you avoid mistakes most beginners tend to make and save you some time and a lot of money. The first and the most easy to avoid mistake is to invest in expensive pens. When you're just starting out and are not even sure if calligraphy is something you want to do long term in any way, either as a hobby or professionally, investing in expensive pens seems like a waste of money because A, you might get bored soon, and B, even if you don't, you might end up spoiling the pens for the lack of proper technique. When I started learning calligraphy and could not get it right after a few tries, I thought, well, it must be the pens, because other people seemed to get it so effortlessly and it seemed like they had started just a while ago and were able to get it quickly because they had better supplies. And so, after asking a lot of people about the pens they use, I bought the Tombow 96 pen set that costs around 14,000 rupees in India. And though the pens are absolutely amazing, they are not a prerequisite to learning calligraphy. So, if any of you are waiting for the right pens to come along and save the day, well, hard luck, my dear friend, because pens don't make the job easier. You do. Practice does, technique does, pens don't. Let me tell you how much each of these pens would cost if you were to buy them as single pieces and not as a set. They are not necessarily available as loose pieces, but I am breaking down the price this way just for the purpose of comparison. And obviously each pen has its own qualities and pros and cons which cannot be defined just by the price. But the point is, you do not need the best pens available in the market to start learning. You can start with whatever you have. The second mistake is to worry too much about the pens and not enough about the paper. So a lot of us while beginning focus a great deal on pens but do not think much about the paper. But if you're going to invest in good pens, then you also need to make sure that you have the right paper for them. So for instance, if you're going for soft tip brush pens like Tombows or Ecolines, using a coarse paper will make the tip fray within a few weeks of use. And though you'll still be able to use those pens for other purposes, you will not be able to use them for calligraphy because you will not be able to get sharp lines with them anymore. Therefore, I would suggest to go for a paper that is smooth. Some examples would be marker paper by Canson, HP printer paper, premium printer paper, and any ivory sheet or any locally bought smooth paper that you can get your hands on. Let me show you a few different kinds of paper that you should or should not use for calligraphy using brush pens. Another reason to give two thoughts to the kind of paper you use is that most of these brush pens are water based. So if you're going to use paper that is too thin, it will either make your paper wilt or tear, or the ink will bleed through the paper. So it is important to keep in mind both the thickness as well as quality of the paper. I say quality because the paper I am using right now is a 200 GSM paper but is of extremely poor quality. I bought this paper from a roadside vendor because I like giving local suppliers a chance, and a lot of times they turn out to be really great. Obviously this was not one of those times. But apart from that, I usually prefer using a 200 to 300 GSM ivory sheet for calligraphy. The only issue with ivory sheets is that you cannot use them for blending because they soak up the water or the moisture of the pen too quickly. Another mistake a lot of people seem to make is that they do not hold their pen correctly while doing calligraphy. Now, this is one of the worst mistakes to make because when you do not hold the pen correctly, you will either have to apply more pressure or will end up applying pressures at the wrong points, which can cause your brush tips to fray. Also, your muscles remember repetitive actions. So if you don't hold your pen correctly, you will not get proper results. But your muscles will remember that incorrect action because that is what you've been practicing. The first thing to remember is that you always hold your pen at a 45-degree angle, not straight like when you're writing with a normal pen, because that way you end up applying too much pressure on the brush tip while drawing the downstroke, which is not good for the pen. Also, the thickness of the stroke will not remain consistent because when you're holding the pen straight like that, you do not give your hand enough space to move. One tip that will help you hold your pen at a 45-degree angle comfortably is not holding it closer to the tip but a little bit farther up. The second thing to remember is that you must hold your pen perpendicular to the downstroke, because if your hand is in the same direction as your stroke, then it is going to obstruct the downward motion of the pen. Also, when you're creating a thick stroke, holding the pen at a 45-degree angle perpendicular to the direction of the thick stroke helps, as it allows you to create a thicker stroke without applying any pressure on the brush tip. Now let me show you what happens to your brush tip when you do not hold your pen properly. Now if you look closely at the two pens, one of the pen's tips have frayed and you can see tiny hairs sticking out of it. Another common mistake a lot of people make is they compare their progress with others. But when you're comparing yourself with others, you're missing a lot of facts. For instance, you don't know how long they have been practicing for or how much time they've invested in learning that skill. Also, a lot of videos that may seem like real-time lettering on Instagram are usually not. They are generally sped up by quite a bit because Instagram has a 1-minute time limit on videos that you can put up on your feed. So if you're looking at those videos and feeling discouraged, please don't. Also, trust me when I say this, lettering or calligraphy requires a lot of patience and no one gets it overnight or does it that fast. The fifth and the most common mistake is thinking that calligraphy is cursive and only people who have good handwriting can learn calligraphy. Well, that's not true, because cursive is when you do not lift your pen until you're done writing an entire word, not even to cross your T's or dot your I's. Whereas in calligraphy, you lift your pen after each alphabet. This lets you decide what your next alphabet and transition should look like. Also, calligraphy is based on various strokes which help you create beautiful alphabets irrespective of whether or not you have a good handwriting. The sixth mistake is not giving enough importance to something I just mentioned. Yes, I'm talking about the strokes. So after watching so many people create these beautiful alphabets and layouts using calligraphy, the tendency is to want to learn quickly. But sadly enough, there is no quick road to progress. You have to do the drills, you have to practice your strokes over and over again. And you'll be surprised how with time, these repetitive movements will become your muscle memory and it will become easier for you to transition between your thick and thin strokes. And with enough practice, you will also be able to create your own unique style. The last and an equally commonly made mistake is not using guidelines while practicing. If drawing guidelines each time you want to practice seems like too much hassle for you, then you should buy a book that already has lines in it. But please always practice using guidelines because it is only gonna help you in the long run. That's all for today's video. Thank you for sticking with me through the end. I'll see you next week with more fun content on calligraphy. Stay home, stay safe.